Hello everyone, hope you're right. In today's video I'm going to quickly show you a little bit updates about my garden. So you can see it's pouring, and this week again temperature went down and it's been pouring and raining here and there. You can see the garden is loving the rain anyway, and it's coming back to life. The things are thriving. And last week I got the opportunity to wash this patio. It was quite dirty, so I pressure washed it, and you can see it's not very clean, but I managed to remove as much dirt off these patio slabs and these rocks which I collected from a landscaping yard. So it's looking quite clean, but I do need to wash all the containers as well, and but I didn't get the chance after that because it started raining and the temperature went down. So the last time it got sunny, I came out here and washed the patio slabs, and after that I couldn't do much. um, Overall I'm loving the garden look and the things which are coming back quickly. This Esclonia, yeah, Esclonia bush is looking really beautiful. You can see all these beautiful blooms there. So it's starting to bloom now, while all other trees are out of bloom now. So these trees which bloomed earlier in the spring, now they are out of bloom, and Esclonia bush is blooming, and you can see the bees on it, and it's looking beautiful. And these foxgloves which are all self-sown, they are coming to bloom now, so they are looking really pretty here and there. I do love foxgloves, their blooms are really beautiful, and in past years I have been trying to grow them from seeds, but when I came in this house there were already foxgloves growing here which were self-sown, and you can see how big this one is. So they are starting to bloom now. The things which I planted are going nice and strong, filling up really well. This is my apricot tree, and it died at the top and started growing from the bottom, so I have cut the top now, and you can see it is growing really nicely. I have done a lot of pruning on my bushes this year, and they are looking nice, and my bird bath is looking really beautiful. I'm really loving these foxgloves, aren't they beautiful? And this plum tree has put on a lot of new growth. I will have to wait for the dry weather to prune it, and you can see we have got loads and loads of apples going on these trees. I don't know what I will do with all of them. And alliums are blooming now, so all other spring flowering bulbs are fading now, and the alliums are taking over, you can see. So some are already blooming, and of course they are so big, tall, that they are pushed down by wind easily, and some are starting to bloom. Hostas are up, you can see they are beautiful green leaves. And my hydrangea, the first one, so I planted 4 last year, and this one has started to bloom now. This has white blooms, so gorgeous, so beautiful. And this small apple tree has got lots of apples as well. And my lupins, yes, so earlier whenever I planted lupins, they will bloom beautiful. Even I started from seeds, I planted them as plug plants. They will bloom beautifully for 1 year, but the other year they wouldn't come back, and I was always like wondering what I'm doing wrong. It was just the microclimate, I think, because in this house when I moved I planted this, and it has come back beautifully nice and strong. So I thought to plant another one, so I have got another one here which is younger than this one, so you can see how lovely and beautiful their blooms are. I really love these tall blooms like foxgloves, lupins, and delphiniums. So I planted a delphinium as well last year. Oh, that's pigeon. So there are lots of birds in my garden all the time, so whenever I come they just fly away. So yeah, I love all these tall flower heads, but delphinium didn't come back, unfortunately. And you can see the erysimum. This is perennial wallflower, so gorgeous, so beautiful. It has kind of evergreen habit to it. So yeah, starts quite early in spring, and then it stays like looking good and beautiful and green for quite a long time in autumn as well. So I'm really loving this bush, and I have got another one to go in the front yard, and all other things are looking good, nicely growing grapevines and my rose plants, and this jasmine. Yeah, this is its third year, and this year it is growing quite vigorously as well. And I have planted my hanging baskets. They will take some time to fill up, so I have planted impatiens in there and ivy vines. So let's see how they will look. This container is filling up quite quickly, so I have planted some borage here and alliums. So I'm loving this borage look in containers, although you should take care when if you plant it in the garden, because it is quite invasive. And I have done all my other containers as well, just need to give them a good wash so they look nice and clean, and you can see they are filling up quite good. So I have all this lobelia. I started from seeds, sunflowers, these are dwarf ones, and something is eating on them already. Overall the things are looking good. My mint is coming back there, and this kiwi vine, it is loaded with flowers this year. So let's see how many kiwis I get. And I have got few more containers here. So these pansies are self-sown. So basically alliums, pansies, they are blooming at the moment. Lupins and racemum, and they are coming nicely. Foxgloves and Esclonia bush. So these are the things which are blooming at the moment. And also this creeping phlox has started to bloom now here in the containers, and I'll take you to the front yard and you can see more blooms there. So this is my front yard come driveway, and we have got few veggies here and there. So yeah, this is filling up really well. So when we moved into this house, we only had this bay laurel and these two conifers. So all other things I have planted myself. Some I planted last year in spring, and some in autumn, and some just this year. So you can see these ground covers, I love them. Aubracia and Campanula, they are blooming nicely. And this echinacea I planted last year, it is coming back nicely. All these alliums, I'm loving their look. So some are already blooming and some are just coming up. This Vigila I planted from bare root last year, and it was quite small, and I always wondered whether it will grow or not, but you can see it is growing really beautifully, and I'm loving these beautiful flowers. And there's another one which I planted from last year from a bare root, and I can't remember its name. And this one I also can't quite remember the name, but it is from daisy family. It is looking beautiful. Although I wanted it to grow a bit taller, but it is more like, you know, dwarf variety. And my lavender is coming back nicely. Sedum, I'm loving it. And here I have got euphorbia, absolutely beautiful. I'm loving this plant. So I really love this euphorbia. So basically last year when we moved here in this area, I had been walking around looking at people's gardens, what things are growing in this area beautifully. So I spotted few of these things like euphorbia, sedum, hebes, and Vigila. These are doing quite well in this area. So I have got the same things for my garden, like heathers, racemum, all these things, magnolia. So this magnolia tree I planted here, and there was a tree here which was dead, so I took it out, and now I have planted magnolia, and I'm just hoping that it, you know, grows well so it doesn't die on me. So yeah, so I'm really loving the look of my front yard and all these beautiful plants. This rose tree, which was supposed to be standard, I got from Tesco last year, and it has quite beautiful big double color blooms, but at the top it was suffering a little bit, but it started growing from the bottom, so I'm letting it go for now. I will give it some time to establish itself, and then I will train it again to a standard form. My cherry tree is coming back nicely, and here are my containers which I planted recently. So I have got some evergreen interest in them, which I'm going for now. So all my containers I'm going to have some evergreen interest in there and some perennials as well, because it is really hard to plant annuals every year, so many annuals, and they don't really do well here in our climate. UK weather is quite unpredictable. Sometimes it is sunny and hot, and sometimes so cold and windy that they are always confused whether they should bloom or not, like we are confused whether should we plant them or not. So I'm sticking to fewer choices now as I'm learning which things are doing well. So this year I'm giving try to begonias. So I have got begonias here and there, and in back garden as well I have got marigolds. They always do well, sunflower, dwarf sunflowers, and lobelias. So let's see how they grow. These creeping plants are a bit behind and not doing so good, which could be the case that this front yard is more sunnier than the backyard, and the backyard ones are a bit good, but the ones that are in the ground on my side street are much better. So I'm just learning at the moment which ones do well in which spot, and I think they like a bit shady spot and more, moist conditions. So these hanging baskets I planted as well, and they're looking good. And on the other side I have got more containers. They are filling up nicely. So this honeysuckle I planted last year and it is growing nicely, and I wanted to train up this palm tree. Yeah, there is a rubbish here. So this containers look beautiful. I love this hebe and its colors. Not quite sure about the name of this plant with yellow and green leaves. It could be vinca or something else. I can't really know it because it was already here. This container is looking good, and of course my climbing rose. So that's the first one starting to bloom, and you can see how beautiful and gorgeous these blooms are. So big and pretty. I'm loving their look, and hope it will fill up really well here. And on the side street there is another one which is just starting to bloom now, so it's a bit behind the other one. And this ceanothus is looking so good. There is another hydrangea, and this yarrow achillea is coming back now. And I have got few more things. This camellia is still small, and this creeping phlox is doing much better than the other ones. You can see how much it has filled up. There are some forget-me-nots which are done, so I need to pull them out. And this butterfly bush, Buddleia, it is growing okay. And this one I pruned hard earlier, and now it is coming back and it is looking much better. And also this forsythia, and there are some more. And you can see the look of Esclonia from outside here, looking gorgeous. So yeah, this forsythia also I planted from bare root, and you can see how it's growing along the ground. So I will give it some time to see how it establishes itself. This creeping phlox died on me here, so I think it doesn't like here because there is, as it gets narrower, there's not much soil under there. So overall the things are doing quite well. Of course there are one or two things which won't thrive for you, and that's okay. That's how the gardening goes. You learn which things are okay for your climate and which are not, and you keep improving all the time. That's what I'm doing here. So I'm loving the look of my front yard as well. It is filling up really well. I'm loving the look of my backyard. So that's all about my garden in the last week of May, and we will see you again next time. Take care. Bye bye.